Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Discover AIG Multinational Latin America. I'm Eric Ramos, Multinational Head for Latin America and the Caribbean. If you want to know more about Multinational, stay tuned. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the network partners perspective. But before we get to that, I would like to introduce Marcelo Milani, Chief Risk Officer of Fairfax Latam. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Eric, thank you so much for having me. So it's a pleasure to be here in the podcast. As you talked, I work for Fairfax Latam. So we operate in 4 different countries in Latin America. So we do business out of Argentina with a company named La Meridional. We do business out of Chile with Southbridge, Colombia, SBS, and Uruguay, SBI. So it's a pleasure to be here. So I've been with AIG for 17 years before coming to the position that I have today. So it's kind of getting back home, so which is great. So we have, just to give an idea, we have 1,200 employees, and we are one of the leaders of commercial lines in Latin America. So what's my role? So what I do? So my role is to support the presidents, take the best decisions, always balancing risk and return. So we operate in a decentralized way. So what I need to do is to make sure that we are taking decisions that add value over the long time.
Marcelo, what is the role of a network partner in a multinational program?
So I think you need to think about the network partner as your boots on the ground. So what we do is like we are there to support your customers and our customers, as we say, when they need the most. Okay. So what we do conceptually, being a network partner, is to provide to AIG all the information that they need to do business effectively in the countries. Well, which sometimes means that if you are planning to launch a new product, for example, in the market, there is sometimes a process that you need to go to the regulators and file a product, get approval before you can go to the market and launch. That's the kind of expertise that we add to the table for you guys to be able to, over time, do more business together. And I think if you think about a network partner, what is great in our relationship is that both of us are really focused on what the customer needs and not focused on what we have in a legal agreement. So I don't know, maybe I'm going to share with you something from the past. So when we started this relationship, I think it was in 2016, we put together a legal agreement that had like tons of clauses and how to operate. So what should we do in that situation? What should we do in that situation? And at the end of the day, when the reality happens, the legal agreement doesn't cover everything. For example, we cannot wait for several approvals to handle a claim in Argentina of a motor business that the guy is trying to get the car ready to bring his kids to home, for example, or for assistance. So, and that's, I think, was the beauty of this program that we built together over time. That is, we adjusted as we needed with very open communication and trust.
Thanks for the explanation. In your point of view, what makes the AIG partnership model effective?
So I think it's very effective because of people. And I think it's all about people. So we have been able to build great technology over time to control our business. So if you think about like the portal that we have today with AIG, we can control thousands of transactions. And when I say thousands, it's because we have 2,000 policies that we manage together. And you can imagine, each policy, there is an issue of the policy, an endorsement, then you have claims, then you have the financial component that you need to make sure that the premiums are being paid on time, claims are paid on time. So I think technology helps us a lot on managing and understand what are the key indicators and where we need to focus our attention. But if we don't have the people aligned and discussing every single challenge that we face on a day-to-day as we have, it wouldn't be possible. So of course, on top of that, we also have a governance structure that we have with your team and with the global team, regular meetings that we can prioritize what is the main challenges that we face. But at the end of the day, if you have common values and we are focusing on what is good for the customer, at the end, we can make millions of transactions in an effective way.
That's correct, and successfully completed for many, many years. One final question. How do you maintain consistency in service across different insurers you have within the group? You talked about this decentralized way of working. How do you maintain this governance across these different insurers?
So what we do is like, first of all, is align what is needs to be done. So like I think what we try to do with our team is to make sure that they are well paid, so that they have the fair compensation. We push a lot for training, and we also want to make sure that we have a great place to work. So all of our operations, they participate in programs to analyze if that's a great place to work. And then if we have motivated people and the open relationship that we have, so that's a key for us to deliver what is needed. So then we can ensure that they're gonna follow the process and put the information in the system on time, that they're gonna care about the KPIs because they see the company as a provider for them. So I think if it wasn't for the people and the values that we have together, it would be very hard for us to handle 2,000 policies per year. And of course, we have challenges. We always have challenges, but we work together, always thinking about the customer. There is one example that maybe I wanted to share with you guys that are listening. That is a very uncommon situation that happened, I think was 2 years ago, that we had the issue in Argentina.
Correct.
Was it? Yeah, but it was 2 years ago. So in Argentina, due to new regulations in the market, the government pretty much shut down the reinsurance market. So we couldn't pay claims, we couldn't pay reinsurance. So in order to transfer money outside, we had to pay a 25% tax. So we were at a point that if you think through, you could even consider is that the place that you wanted to do business? If you can't do the flow of money, so does it make sense to do business? And instead of like going to that road that would be the easy one for both of us, saying, oh, let's shut down, we can't do business. No, we work like hours and hours and hours, they travel to Argentina. We came here, and every step that we found difficult, we worked together and found a solution. Not always we agree with 100% of the things, but this transparency and putting the hard topics on the table is what make this partnership great. So I think that's like the core of like being a multinational partner, is like this long-term view that we have together.
Completely in agreement. I think it's all about communication. As you said, it's not easy, and sometimes we have this complex or tough situations, especially what we face in different countries across LAC. But I think communication, to have really the pillars and everything surrounding our operation on a really best way to execute for our clients.
Yep.
That's the best way to go. So we're almost at the end of our episode, but I would like to hear your final thoughts.
Yeah, so I think like transparency, trust is key, and I think that we have in that. And I also wanted to remind everyone that is like insurance is about helping people and customers. So insurance is not about like sending a policy, making an endorsement. Insurance is there because at the time that the customer are facing the most challenge there in front of them, that is a stressful moment that's in the claims, we are there to help. And I think that if everybody that works in insurance, as we do understand that, we're going to continue to provide outstanding outstanding services for our customers.
Thank you, Marcelo, for being part of this episode of Discover AIG Multinational podcast series. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube AIG Latin America channel. Stay tuned for future episodes and see you soon.